Hello, everyone. Welcome to the conversation with Dr. Joan Coleman and friends, and I'm with my friend Rita.
I am Rita Reynolds, and you can find me on Instagram as thereynoldslov.
Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and you can find me on Instagram at Michelle_Caravella.
And Megan.
Hi, Megan Price, MP Jewelry Appraisal on Insta.
And I'm Dr. Joan, and I am at Let Me Be Me and Jay on Insta. Today, we're going to talk about the holidays and food. Oh, who doesn't love holiday food? I love it. I love it. I love it. And so we're going to talk about the risk of overeating. Why do we overeat? I know, Michelle, this is her wheelhouse. Michelle, why are we overeating during the holidays? What's up with that?
Yes, there's a couple of reasons. But I think the obvious one is that there's an influx of a lot of foods that we don't tend to see all year round. So it's kind of like, opposite of out of sight, out of mind. It's like in sight, in mind. So it's just easily accessible. And it's good. It's tasty. So it's harder to I guess avoid these scenarios that we are presented with, all of this food and alcohol and social gatherings and what have you. I think that we also overeat too around the holidays because many people use food as a coping mechanism. So the holidays, we've said on here before, could be a very high emotional, like intense time. So that's a recipe for a perfect storm right there. High emotions and an environment with an influx of these foods. And we're disconnected, right, Joan? Like a lot of the times, like if we're just mindless or we're not connected to our physical body and our fullness, it's so easy to just overdo it this time of year.
I used to be a overeater, not medically. Nobody said it that I was medically or anything, but I was one that had to clean my plate and the dessert. I had to have some dessert, no matter how stuffed I was. I still was going to eat dessert. And I just read something that says from October, from Halloween through to Christmas to the New Year, people gain 5 to 10 pounds at least. Megan, do you think that's true? Like people gain that much weight from overeating, from stress eating during the holidays?
Yeah, I absolutely think that's true. I think there's a lot of more opportunity in regards to social gatherings, like we just mentioned. I think that you are buying more things and filling your home with it, and you're trying new recipes and maybe trying them out before the actual event. So you're doing additional cooking, trying to like fit the needs of each event and each person that you might know, and to kind of give them a little treat. And you're also engaging in it. So I think absolutely 5 to 10 pounds could be very realistic. And also just kind of losing your routine when things get busier. Maybe you're not working out and you're not as active as you used to be. So I think that 5 to 10 pounds is very real. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. Rita, how do you handle like the holiday eating, the stress eating? How do you make sure you're not putting on that 5 to 10 pounds?
Well, I'm very disciplined. You know me, so I don't overeat.
Well,
Honestly,
how do you stay disciplined? What can you help somebody who might not be as disciplined as you? Give them your tips on how to stay disciplined.
well, like tip like drink a lot of water so you can cheat your stomach, and so you think that you're not full, but you're not. So if you drink a lot of water before meal, that will help you to cheat a little bit. This your stomach, and I never was a big eater in my life, and my kids either. So I think my leptin, where the leptin is a substance that make you feel full, work well on me and all my kids. So just like, but yeah, like I never have that problem. I'm very conscious about, you know, don't eat too much, because then I will feel bad, and I don't want to feel bad. No bad about if I put some pounds, but then I don't know, if you have gastritis, some people can have nausea, you can have problems in your stomach if you eat too much. So I'm very conscious about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a question for me, because on top I'm a nutritionist. So I don't really, but my mom have that problem. Like, used to have a lot of anxiety, and on holidays, whenever she eat a lot, then she tried to change a little bit and just drink more water, because she started to have like pre-diabetic. So I think sometimes you need to be a little more conscious. I know there's no every case. In my case, I need to be an example, because I work with my body, and I can't do that. Like,
And that's
you understand, like,
yeah, that's understandable. Michelle is a soul-led dietitian. Megan is
yeah.
is an instructor. You're a nutritionist. You work on your body, so we know what not to do. Even somebody like me still don't do it. Because I love food. I love food, right?
Oh no, I love food too.
I know you
I
love
love
food,
food
but
too.
you're disciplined. That's what this is.
Yeah. I love food too. Whoa.
So, Michelle, since you're this is your wheelhouse, right? Why do we do the things we do? Why do we overeat? Why can't we be like Rita and drink water and before we eat and be so disciplined? Like, what's going on? What's going on with us?
Yeah, well, I think it's twofold. What I would say in this scenario, especially around the holidays, is when we eat with intention and we actually know how to fuel our bodies, no matter if it's the holidays or not, a lot of those foods and overeating becomes less tempting, right? So if you're eating well, meaning like balanced meals and things like this, like regularly even throughout the holiday season, physiologically you're less tempted to overeat and indulge, because your body's being nourished with the actual nutrients to physically satisfy it. Just as important with that is to make sure, mentally, that we're in a good place, right? So like if food is filling more than our stomachs, right? If we're, again, going back to those feelings of loneliness, or, of if it's our only source of joy, which there's nothing wrong with using food as a emotional thing, but when it comes at the expense of our physical health or feeling badly physically, it's time to look at other ways to feed our soul or to cope with emotions, especially around the holidays. So I don't think it's as much about willpower, Joan, as it is about taking care of yourself nutritionally in other ways, reminding yourself psychologically too, like even Rita said, like when you overdo it, like with that food, you just don't feel good. And once you start to have that connection to your physical body, and realize like more mashed potatoes isn't going to make them taste better. In fact, it's going to be like almost like a worse experience eating an entire pie, right? Versus like really savoring it and being mindful when you're eating it, you actually like have this intrinsic motivator, and it makes things a lot easier. So same thing with like when we start to realize like calling a friend or having a friend over for dinner to scratch that itch of loneliness around the holiday, or going to a grief support group to scratch the itch around grieving, we realize that that's a more satisfying itch than like replacing it with food. And then does that make sense? So I would say there's like a couple things. Obviously, like in certain cases, people are, if it's part of their job or their health or their physique is a top priority, it might be even more easier, I guess, to have the willpower or the discipline. But even if you're not a model or whatever, I think there's just other simple things you can do that can help you make it through the holidays a little bit better.
Yes, I understand just what you're saying. You have, instead of putting all your emotions and everything you feel into eating, you could find other ways to supplement that. You could call a friend, you could go to a counseling session, you could run on the track, you could do something to fill that space, and you will feel much better than overeating and feeling sick. You know what I mean? Also, I want to get into this part too about the drinking of the wine. Megan, let's let's talk about like not I'm not saying Megan drink wine, people. I'm just asking.
I do drink wine.
I'm not saying she's an over drinker, but I'm saying how do we make sure we're not being too excessive during the holidays?
I think everything comes down to doing things purposefully. You know, setting a schedule for yourself, you know, kind of creating in your mind, what was my week? Did I have a Christmas party? Did I have a holiday party on Monday or Tuesday? You know, is there one on Thursday, Friday? Like, where am I going to have my glass of wine? You know, it's not going to be at every single one, kind of creating a schedule and just, you know, sticking to it and you know, finding that discipline by using a schedule, you know, really like look at your week and say, all right, like I'm not gonna restrict my wine, right? I'm gonna have a glass of wine when I go out, but do I have a party here and there? If I do, maybe I don't have it at home, right? Or maybe you BYOB everywhere you go and you bring the same bottle of red wine to 5 different places until it's gone. You know, that's what I do. I bring my own and I drink it. And if it takes me a week or 2, or it doesn't usually, but you know, I usually finish it. But you know, I'm really conscious, especially of how I want to feel the next day, and what my actual lifestyle needs me to be, you know, on point. You know, I have young kids, I have a bunch of jobs, you know, I can't feel like trash, you know, so I really try to be conscious of all of my decisions, but I also don't say no to myself either. You know, I also will allow myself based on whatever I plan, and then I stick to that as best I can.
Yep. And you're basically saying everything in moderation. Don't go crazy, you know, in one sitting, drinking everything, eating everything in moderation, right, Rita? Your body could only take so much. And so, Rita, what do you have to say? What's your last word about moderation, taking it easy on yourself, and just not overeating and stress eating? What about it, Rita?
Well, I just say like when you, like Michelle told, say something about it, like when you became conscious about your body, you know what you may make you feel good or bad. So I don't think really it's about control. I think it's very, on top of unhealthy, you feel bad. Like Michelle say that if you eat the whole pie, you know, I don't think you will feel very good after that. So I think it's more about just being conscious and have a limit, you know, like just put some limit and you know, try to control that. Drink water. So they your stomach. That's a good one. Yeah.
If you don't remember anything else, you better drink some water. Remember
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
just remember everything in moderation, and just remember, listen to yourself, your intrinsic self. That's what you said, Michelle. Listen to your insides. You know, if you're eating that pie, your mind is saying, you know, you're full, girl. Put that down. You know. So listen to your inner self. Listen to yourself. Do you ladies have any last words? Michelle, any last words?
I think I liked what everyone said, and especially with Megan with the intention or being purposeful. So, you know, set an intention. It can go a long way, like this holiday season. Like, how can I, you know, I intend to enjoy myself and honor my health. You know, I want to nourish my soul, and I also want to nourish my physical health. And when we have that intention, you know, and we're connected to it, we can make some good choices and help us find that balance.
Very nice. Megan, any last word?
Yeah, my last word is, let's just say that it's not going to go perfectly for you and you go off track. That doesn't ruin your day. It doesn't ruin your month. Be gracious and graceful with yourself, and then just get right back on track. It's not ruined. It's not the end of the world. Just acknowledge it, drink your water, and pick up right where you left off. Forgive yourself. It's okay.
Self-forgiveness. It's okay. It's okay. We mess up, right, Rita? We mess up. We do things. Get back on the horse. Don't stop there and say, oh, I give up. I can't do this anymore. You can. All right. Get back on that horse. Rita, any last words before we go?
Well, I just like they always say that I say to people, just eat conscious. Like don't try to just eat because you want to eat, you know, that's more like mental. So I trying to be like mental control with that, you know, and then but it's true, like if you overeat because it's holidays, try to just be in the holidays. No something regular, you know, don't make that regular. But you know, it's like it's kind of lying if you say that people don't eat too much on holidays. It's kind of, so I need to be realistic. So doing that, eat in the holidays, but then back on track. That's all.
Back on track, stay on track. Don't beat yourself up. Forgive yourself. Give yourself grace and be conscious of what you are doing. These were some awesome tips from these awesome ladies. If you have any tips below, put them in the comment box and we'll answer them and get back to you. And we're so thankful for you for watching. I am with Rita.
So I'm Rita Reynolds, and you can find me at thereynoldslov on Instagram.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'm Michelle, and you can find me at Michelle_Caravella at Instagram.
And Megan.
mpjewerlyappraisal on Insta.
And this is The Conversation. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.